Hello everyone, welcome back to Fairly Determined FM with me. My name is Chris. Welcome. We're about to start our first full season as Napoli manager. We've had the transfer window, pre-season's gone really well, and in our first game of the season, we're playing a recently promoted side. It's definitely not going to turn out poorly for me, is it? Definitely not. No, definitely not. Definitely not. If this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes of The Manager's Journey or anything else I decide to put out. And if this isn't your first time here, welcome back. You all right? Good. We did bring in quite a few players. I spent a lot of money. Spent maybe too much money. You can see our finances have dunked into the red, and I do think a lot of that's to do with me, unfortunately. Let's meet these new boys. Let's meet the new players who I think are really good. Or, in the case of one player, it will be really good. Last episode, we already met this guy, Andre Franklin. He's a young English left-back wonder kid. Look at those mentals. Look at the mentals. He's got work to do on his passing, crossing and dribbling as well, but, you know, that's not essential. I've been watching him in pre-season. He does like to get up and down the wings, and he can do that. He's really good. He's really good. So next up, we signed Stefano Bafulco, a right-back, also young, also got a lot of potential in him, not quite wonder kid status, but he's, again, going to be a good right back for us. We've got him, Alessandro Giardini, and the guy who normally plays out there. We'll go through the depth in a minute. But yeah, he's lacking a little bit maybe in pace, and some of his technicals are a little bit low again, the same as Andre. But again, in pre-season so far, he's been really good. 3 assists in 3 appearances. Very happy with the signing of Stefano Bafulco. Did cost us a little bit of money, 14 million. The board were not happy with 14 million. They don't like how much money I've spent on this player at all. But, you know, you give me the transfer budget, I'm going to spend it. The next, we've got Michel Mingotiz. Michel. We've got Michel, right winger. Can also play in the center in the attacking midfield role there, which is good because we needed some depth and rotational options there. Needed some depth and rotational options out on the right wing as well. He's signed for 24 million, regular starter, 85 grand a week. Good physically, good mentally, and he's good technically in the attributes that are important for the roles that he's going to be playing in. Next up, Doncho Nikolov, Bulgarian, signed from Ludogorets for about 4.3 million. Another wonder kid. He's good enough to play already, and he will be playing. He can play in the defensive midfield role. He can play in the central midfield role at a push. We can put him out on the wing, right back rather. So it's just another sort of rotational depth option in certain areas of the pitch. Physically very good, mentals are very good, and apart from marking, all of the technicals that I care about are good. He's also got great first touch, and he can dribble, which is pretty good for a ball-winning midfielder. So yeah, welcome Doncho. It's such a great name, Then I signed this guy as sort of an emergency backup. 25 years old, Fode Fofana, signed for 1.6 million from Heracles Almelo. He's nothing special. He will just be a rotational player. He's going to be coming off the bench quite a lot, which is why he's an emergency backup. He's only on 15 grand a week, which isn't too much. But he's quite well-rounded. You know, he's physically good. His technicals are decent enough, and mentally, you know, some of his mentals are a little bit on the low side, but he's only going to be featuring here and there, probably, you know, when Kuna or Michel rather needs a rest. And crucially, he's another player who can play on the left, the middle, or the right, and also up front if we need him to. He's a versatile backup. The board were also not happy with him. They think he's a waste of a squad spot, essentially. I disagree. I think he's going to be really useful throughout the season as someone to rely on to come on, see the games out. Welcome Fode. I buy players whose names I can't pronounce. This last player, the board crucified me for. They think I spent far too much money for a player who is not good enough. But this is Mikhail Delem. He's a 22-year-old French goalkeeper. Currently 2 stars, very much a backup goalkeeper for us. Very, very much. But his potential ability is world class. World class. He could be one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Now, admittedly, for a sake of all the manager's journey, that may not seem that important because we may not be here at Napoli when or if he reaches his potential. But I couldn't not sign a potentially world-class goalkeeper just on the off chance that we do stay at Napoli. But if nothing else, 20 grand a week. He's currently, you know, valued after I paid 20. What did I pay for him? 23 million. So we paid 23 million for him. He's now valued between 50 and 56 million. So we're going to get like double our money back if we decide to sell him on already. The board don't like it. The board don't like it at all. Mikhail Delem here. mainly due to both the transfer fee and the player's wage being on the higher side, making the deal look costly on paper. Fans didn't like it either, angry with the signing of a player who looks surplus to requirement. I think they're short-sighted. Short-sightedness, that's all it is. Mikael Delem is, I think, the future number one goalkeeper for this club. And if he reaches his potential, maybe the future number one for the French national team. I don't know. Who knows? I can't see the future. Those are our signings for a combined £79 million. And we sold 3.5 million worth of players. So it was an expensive window. It was an expensive window, but we needed to overhaul the squad. Let's have a look at the potential in the club, right? So if you exclude Darwin Núñez, because he's already at his potential, and you just look at the players left, so excluding Darwin Núñez, you look at the potential now in the squad, and look how many of these players are players that I brought in. All of them, except for Chalky, who was here to start with. So Giardini, Mengotes, Bifulco, Delem, Nikolov, and Franklin are all players that I brought in, and they're all players with good potential. In a couple of years, they're going to be very, very good players if they do reach their potential. So looking at the squad in this view with those players still highlighted, you can see what I've tried to do, where we've got seasoned pros now, 28 and over, a lot of them. They're all, they're all of the players who were here last season, 28 and over, coupled with 7 or 8 youngsters under the age of 25 who can learn from those players. And we've just got this nice spread, I think, of ages and abilities across the group, across the squad. Squad depth as well. If you have a look at the squad depth now, we've got 4 players who can play up front. We've got Núñez, Matthias, Lewis, Lema, and Franklin who can play on the left. Cunha, Mingotes, Renteria, and Fofana in the middle. Cunha, Mingotes, Núñez, Nandez, and Lema on the right. Like, we've got depth everywhere, even depth at the back. You could argue really that goalkeeper is still a place where we're kind of lacking, but I don't tend to play with a sub-goalkeeper, and I've yet to see a goalkeeper, touch wood, I've yet to see a goalkeeper get a really bad injury and be out for ages and ages and ages. There is one more signing to come, Darren Kelly, we're signing from Porto for 8 million, rising to 14 million. I'm going to be training him to play in the attacking midfield role, because if you look at his attributes for that role, he's got all of them at a decent enough level, and we can work on his passing and work on his dribbling and work on his anticipation. All of that can be improved upon. He's 22 years old. He's Irish. Got a lot of potential, it's a lot of potential. He can be 3.5 stars, which is sort of where Patson Daka is anyway. Another good signing. I'm really happy with him. And he, unfortunately, is not going to be able to play in this game against Salernitana because it was a little bit too soon for him. But when he does join, we'll have even more players who can play in all these different positions on the pitch. It's what I've done. I think is what I've done. It feels like it's what I've done at every single club. Come in, deal with what you've got for the first season, first transfer window or two, and then you start building the squad up. And then invariably, if you're me, you end up moving on. Yeah, I think, personally, me speaking, I think it's a good transfer window. Personally. The board and the fans, less happy. Anyway, right. Let's get on with the first game. We are playing Salernitana, who are one of the teams who came up from Serie B last season. Did they win it? They came second in Serie B. Serie, whatever. So what I've also done, actually, just before we do start the game, it says custom gegenpress. I've sort of changed it around ever so slightly. We're still doing the pressing, like the high pressing bit. We're pressing much more often. We've got a much higher line of engagement. The defensive line's sort of a little bit lower. Tackling, I've got to stay on feet because we were just picking up a ton of yellow cards. The main changes I've made are with the tempo. Now, the default gegenpress is extremely high tempo, and not work ball, and work ball into the box was not set. And I think one of the things I complained about in the last episode was our terrible shots on targets to goals ratio. Awful. Now, what I was doing in pre-season was just tweaking that ever so slightly by bringing the tempo down to standard, lowering the passing directness, and taking work ball into box on, and it seems to have done the trick. We still had like one game, I think, where we had 20 shots and only 6 on target, but the other 3 that we played were very good. We were sort of 70% of our shots were fine and on target, and it was better. So it's an ever so slightly tweaked gegenpress. Bloody hell, I've waffled on for a long time there, haven't I? First highlight goes our way. Cunha with the free kick, swings it in, back post, almost in. That was Oxford with a good header. Cunha has got the ball, finds Franklin out on the left-hand side. Franklin takes on his man, dribbles past him nicely. See, he's dribbling to 11, but he's been doing fine. Swings it in. Darwin Núñez off the bar. Michel gets his first goal for the club. Is that going to be ruled out for offside? Was Núñez offside, or is that going to count? Well. Ugh. Rubbish. Oxford on the ball now. Finds Satalo out on the right wing. Michel, Kuna plays in Lewis. Lewis is in on goal. He really should have scored. Really should have scored. 20 minutes gone. We are all over them, especially with that disallowed goal. You really do think we should be leading here already. I'm going to make a half-time change. I'm going to put Darwin Núñez out on the left. I'm going to bring Daka on up front. So I think Jamal Lewis just not playing that well. And Lehmann might also be coming off. He's only on a 6.6. Might leave that for a little bit longer. Apart from that, we're just going to go up to the second half. We're going to play attacking. So we're going to stick on that attacking mentality. And here's our first highlight of the second half. Darwin finds Kuna. Finds Nandez. Mingotes does get his first goal. I said his name really, really weirdly. But Mingotes. Michel gets his first goal of the season. First goal for the club. And puts us 1-0 up at home. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Darwin to Kuna. Back to Franklin. Then Nandez floats a ball in. Michel gets it in. I'm going to change his name to Michel because I keep trying to pronounce his name very, very poorly. Remind me to do that at the end of the episode. It's time to make that other sub, and we are going to welcome Doncho for his debut. Richard cuts out that pass. Patson Daka almost finds the ball through to Núñez, but not quite. Franklin dribbles past his man, and he's going to get sent off. Vili on a yellow already. That's his second. So Salernitana now down to 10 men. Franklin is going to run, is he? He's not. He's going to pass it into Nandez all the way back to Oxford. Finds Talo out on the right-hand side. Here's Kuna. Fofana plays in Daka with a lovely pass. Daka hits the post. Header that away. Oxford wins it. Fofana finds Doncho. Kuna to Nandez. Patson Daka plays in Darwin. Núñez out on the left. He's going to get the cross in. He's going to find Nandez at the back. Franklin on the ball. Runs into the penalty area and he gets fouled, and that's a penalty. It's got to be a penalty. Franklin has drawn 2 really good fouls in this game. Got 1 player sent off and won the team a penalty. I think he's won the team a penalty. He has won the team a penalty. Kuna is going to be taking it for Napoli. Get a deep breath. Kuna runs up, buries it. He hit that so hard it phased out of the net. Brilliant. Brilliant penalty. What's this? Just dribble out of the goal. Boom. Love it. Praise the boys. 2-0. And I think that will see us up into 5th. It will, on goal difference. Lovely. Good. Right. I was very, very scared we were going to lose this. I'm not going to lie. Because I bigged up all those players that we signed. We're going to get a 3rd here. We're nice off the crossbar. I hit the woodwork twice as well. Yeah, I was a little bit worried that we were going to lose this because of how positive I was being about our chances this season. We've hit the crossbar again because of how positive I was being about our chances this season. But it doesn't look like it's to be. Franklin needs to wake up a little bit there. He's let Ben Wenger in. A poor pass has let... And another poor pass. It's just a trio of poor decisions there. 1 from them and 2 from us. They've kept the ball out on his left-hand side. There's only 30 seconds or so of the game to go, and they just seem comfortable to knock it around us. And we, to be honest, seem comfortable letting them do that. I mean, I am. Don't. I want a clean sheet, please, to start the season off. Or are we going to get a worldie go into the back of our net here? Clear that. Oxford clears it. It's away. What a pointless highlight. I'm just going to cut that out. Just going to cut that out. Oh, no, you're not. I'm the edity guy. I say what goes in the cut, not you. Wonderful stuff. 24 shots, 11 on target, XG of 3. That's probably because of the yellow card. Penalty, rather. You could argue we could have done better and scored more, and possibly we should have. We did hit the woodwork 3 times. We will come back then at the end of October for Inter and Juventus, or Zebra. Those are going to be 2 big games, because you would imagine they're going to be 2nd and 1st at that point, whichever combination of the 2. And in between them, we've got some what look, I would say, to be pretty winnable games. I would like to come out of these. I'd like to come out of these 5 with 12 points at least. 4 wins. I'd like 4 wins out of 5 from these ones. I will see you in the next episode for the 2 games against Inter Milan and Zebra. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know what you thought down in the comments. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And I'll see you soon for some more Manager's Journey. Cheers. Bye.